at a Bonn international book club, which started this group called Bonn Expats. And today I feel like a global citizen, and Himat is everywhere. But if you're planning to live in Germany for a while, it is definitely encourageable to. Everyone's a migrant. Hardly anyone lives where they were originally born. And so I invited some people over for dinner, and after dinner, Hi, my name is Shehrina Kamal. I've been living in Germany for the last 16 years. I've lived in Bonn for a good 10 years and now living in Cologne.
Where are you taking us today, Shahrina? Would you tell us about the place you have chosen and why?
Yeah, so I wanted to walk down one of my favorite streets in Bonn, which is Maxstrasse. And when you think about Bonn, it's not maybe the most picturesque street, but it does have a lot of significance for me because I lived on this street for about 7 years. And I actually had 2 apartments, and both of these apartments coincide with the period of my life, which is sort of coming of age for me. And so it was the first time I started to live by myself and started to be self-sufficient, learn how to kind of manage on my own. And so this is a very significant street for me, and arguably maybe not the prettiest street, but still holds a very special spot in my heart.
And where is this street?
So we're actually right here. So this is a dead-end street. So not many people know that this is part of Maxstrasse. And you'll see that there's a very small street with some playgrounds here. And then as you start to get up, you see some pretty cherry blossoms, which is part of the significance of being in the Bonn Altstadt, or the Old Town. And then as you get there, there's a bigger thoroughway that you can get.
What brought you here in Germany?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Bangladesh, and I came to Germany with an internship. And I thought I was just coming for 6 months, and that became a year, that became 2 years, and then it became 16 years. And so I really had no concept of Germany as such. And it just happened as life happens. And ultimately, I made this my home. And yeah, I've lived here for the last 16 years and worked here. And now Germany is a second home. I think there's always things to be afraid of, but always take the plunge and try anything, because unless you try, you won't know if you will succeed. So as an example, I was afraid of being able to buy a car because I needed a car to get to work. And I had to do it because I was alone, and I had to try those things. And I think it teaches you a lot about yourself, and therefore you just need to try and push yourself into that uncomfortable situation, because that makes you grow.
How is your relationship with both countries?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I'm in Germany, I'm always missing Bangladesh and Bangladeshi food, and I'm waiting to get back home. But then when I'm in Bangladesh, I'm also waiting to get back to Germany, because obviously I am very attached to Germany. My home is here now. My husband's here. And so it's a very difficult relationship, because when I'm in one place, I miss the other place. And when I'm in the other place, I am really anxious to go back. And so I would say it's complicated.
What do you miss a lot?
The food, the amazing food. There's plenty of South Asian restaurants in Germany, but no Bangladeshi restaurants, which is the thing that I miss the most.
Yeah. Which apartment you were looking for?
So actually, this is a building that I first moved into when I was in Bonn, when I got a full-time job and had my own place. And
So how was it?
it was extremely.
Were you surprised? Were you happy?
I was extremely happy to have had an apartment. And then I realized that there were certain things you needed to learn about energy management, because I got a huge bill at the end of the year, and I didn't realize that my energy consumption was not very efficient. So that was also part of growing up and learning how to adjust in Germany.
Somebody is coming now. What are their expectations? What should they have in mind if somebody wants to find?
Well, I think finding accommodation in Germany is harder than finding a job in some situations. And so I would say you have to keep an eye out for every opportunity, talk to people, look at every website, and it's not going to be easy. And once you do find an apartment, you'll see that there's not a kitchen in there. And so you have to realize that you actually have to buy a kitchen itself. So yeah, it's much harder than most people anticipate. I would say that use networks and groups and Facebook groups that are out there. It's become very easy to also share and ask for help, and people are really willing to help. And so use the network and the groups that are available to seek out opportunities where you might have a place somewhere to find in terms of accommodation.
Okay. So what do you think about the concept of high Himat, and where is Himat for you?
Yeah, for me, Heimat is not necessarily a place. It can be a place, but it's more of a feeling. Heimat is where you have people you love surrounding you, people that understand you, and people that understand who you are and who you've been. And so to me, my Heimat is a world because my best friends live everywhere. My parents live in Bangladesh, my husband and I live here, and my friends are here. And so I would say I feel like a global citizen, and Heimat is everywhere. Everywhere there's great food.
In the context of current global scenario, what do you think? Is this wishful thinking or it's realistically,
I think
especially
it's
in
not.
Germany?
I think it's not a pipe dream. I think it's still possible to have melting pots. I think the average person like you and me are open and want to get to know other people and learn about other cultures. And so I remain optimistic about the world.
Why not?
Yeah. So after my friends and I stopped being interns, we realized that we wanted to still have a forum to connect with other international people in Bonn. And so we kind of, as a joke, started this group called Bonn Expats. And of course, you can argue about expats versus migrants. I'm not hung up on the semantics, but it was basically just a Facebook group to connect international people coming to Germany. And now it's grown to the extent where it's 25,000 people in that Facebook group. I don't know all of them, of course, but I really hope that they get benefit out of connecting with other people living in Bonn and exchanging information and getting useful tips on how to survive and thrive in Germany.
And how hard it is to maintain a group and like be an admin. How do
Yeah.
you deal with it, and what are your tips for maintaining a group like that?
Yeah, I mean it's quite sometimes challenging because I do have a day job. Running a Facebook group is not my full time job, and so I'm often pulled into having to mediate or moderate certain things, which I don't think necessarily I want to be doing. But I'm very happy that the group itself is self-moderating, and there's always people that are quite active, and they share a lot of good things, and there isn't a lot of negativity. So yeah, I'm very happy that the way that it has grown and has self-maintained essentially.
Do you think that there are enough groups in or clubs in Bonn?
I think so. I've seen a lot of things coming up. I've personally started a Bonn International Book Club, which is now expanded to Cologne. There's a fantasy book club as well in Bonn. There are social meetups. I think there's a lot of things happening. There's board game nights. And so I think there's a lot more people that are taking initiative and hosting these kinds of events. So yeah, if you're new to Bonn, I would encourage everyone to try and seek these things out.
What about the language?
I mean, English is, of course, the lingua franca, and so everybody uses English. But if you're planning to live in Germany for a while, it is definitely encourageable to learn the language because I think it gives you access to more things, more opportunities, more cultural events as well. So yeah, wherever you live, whether it's Germany or France or Italy, learning the local language is definitely a good step.
Is there openness about English in Germany or particularly in Bonn?
I mean, I think there's a huge amount of openness in this side of Germany, especially in Bonn, Cologne, the Düsseldorf area. And so you're going to be very lucky in finding a lot of people that are open to speaking English. I always find that when Germans say, I only speak a little bit of English, they actually speak very, very fluent English. And so I think it's very international in this part of Germany. And so there's more openness also to learn and exchange and get to know other people. And so, yeah, I'm extremely pleased with how open the environment is here.
So you have no complaints. Yeah, you can sit
Sure.
here for a while to take a break because
Yeah.
for you also it's
No,
okay,
it's
so
all
now we
good.
talk about the Bond book club.
Yeah.
You like to read a lot.
Yeah.
What was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, so I am an avid reader. I have always been an avid reader. One of the things that my parents instilled in me, particularly my mom, is to read a lot. And so books have been a constant companion in my life. Um, I didn't really plan to start a book club, but somebody suggested that it would be nice to have a book club in Bonn. And so I said, yeah, I'll start it. And so I took the initiative. It's been running for 11 years now. And it's a great way to meet people. I've met a lot of people outside of my own bubble of work, which is how you typically get to know people in Germany, especially if you're a young professional. So yeah, I've had a chance to meet a lot of new people and from a lot of different places, but connecting on this passion for books and literature. And yeah, we meet once a month and we pick a book and we just talk about it. And
So
what
how
I've
many book clubs are now in? Do you have any idea? In Bonn after
I know about two book clubs in Bonn, and one of them is a bit of a spin-off from our current book club, and they're focused on fantasy books. We read more literary books. But what I've also realized is that books is just an excuse for us to meet, but we're a group of women that just talk about life and experiences of living in Germany. So reading a book is not maybe not the main thing, but it's a way to really share experiences and connect.
Do you think it's useful to talk about books in the book clubs? Like, what is the benefit of a book club, generally speaking?
Yeah, because I think it gives you a lot of different perspectives. You can read a book and you can have a current a perspective on what you thought about the book, how you like the characters. But when you meet with other people, they might have a completely different experience, or they might have a different impression of the book, or have different perspectives on the ending or some parts of it. And so being able to talk about it gives you different perspectives and also opens your mind to things maybe you didn't see while you were reading the book.
Book clubs encourage reading or just gossip or getting together?
I definitely think book clubs encourage reading. Again, also similar to the Bonn Expats group, there's a whole lot of members in the group. Not everybody show up, but I'm really secretly hoping that people are reading books. And yeah, in this day and age of Twitter and X and Facebook, people have very short attention span. And I'm really hoping that people are reading books and being able to retain their critical thinking abilities by reading long form content like books.
What is your relationship with your mother tongue?
Yeah, so my mother tongue is Bengali, and
How good can you speak it?
very well. So I grew up speaking Bengali. Unfortunately, I don't get to practice it so much except for once a week when I speak to my parents. And so I don't have a lot of Bangladeshi friends here, so I don't get to practice Bangla so much. But I still love reading Bengali literature and still keeping that connection alive because it's a very important part of who I am.
Back to daily life. That's what I probably want.
Yeah, what I've realized is that even though it's my mother tongue, I forget words because I'm not practicing it. And so sometimes I'm trying to figure out a word, and the word will come to me in German because I've maybe heard it more recently, whereas I haven't spoken it in Bengali. And so language it's a funny thing because it's like a muscle. If you're not using it, you're losing it. And so
So your
yeah,
parents or the family, and they would like you to raise your kids or
yeah.
speaking your mother
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, so
And
I'm very, very lucky that my parents don't push me about those things. They're happy when, for example, I celebrate Eid, and when I do something, I don't always do anything for Eid, but when I do something, they're very happy. Especially, yeah, they're just happy that I am thriving and are happy when I can celebrate those
So
things.
what do you say to those people who come here and like have families and they have like kids, especially
Mhm.
they are concerned about the language? What your advice would be for them?
Yeah, I think it's very special to be able to speak multiple languages, and being able to preserve that and practice that is very important. And so I know it's not always realistic for everybody to be able to do that, but when you can and where you can, if I don't have kids, but if you have kids, being able to make sure that they can appreciate and learn their
So is it
parents'
okay
languages.
which book you will recommend in the Bengali language and then German and English?
Book recommendation in Bengali, I would say I grew up reading a lot of Shukumar Rai. He is a very old author, long passed away, but he had very witty, funny poems and stories that I grew up as a child, and so I still go back to it and read it a lot because it reminds me of my childhood. And anybody who reads Bengali, I would recommend them to check this book out. He has lots of different books, and he has an anthology that I would recommend.
And any Bengali movie?
Oh, I haven't watched a Bengali movie in a while, so I don't know.
Three things you would like in Germany.
Three things I
Especially in Bonn.
the three things I like in Bonn. It's small. It's the perfect size, but has the facilities of a big city. The cherry blossoms, which are blooming right now,
Yeah.
and the fact that you can walk down a street and hear 20 different languages. That's my favorite part about Bonn.
Three things that you would like to change about Bonn and then Germany.
I would want there to be more options for people moving in here. One thing I'd like to change about Germany, oh, that's really hard. Maybe just the incentive to invest in infrastructure. I think infrastructure tends to be quite more advanced in other places, but it is crumbling, and I really hope that at some point we invest in trains and sustainable means of transportation because that's something that's close to my heart.
Three annoying words that people say a lot these days. Any language, basically English. I think we should take English. Three words that
Oh,
your pet peeve or very annoying. you live
um,
in?
I'm completely
Okay.
blanking. I have no idea.
Okay,
You should have told me. I should have thought about this.
Okay, they should do first before coming to Bonn. What is your suggestion for people?
Well, to know that you can actually get by without learning any German in Bonn, which is good. But then you should definitely try to learn the language. And people are just super friendly in Germany. I think Germans have this reputation that they are very stuck up and cold. That's not the case.
Okay, if I quickly ask you fill in the blanks, mother tongue is for me.
A way to express things that cannot be expressed in other languages.
English is the language.
To communicate with the world.
German is a language.
That reminds me that there's more to the world than the English language.
I am not biased about.
I am not biased about. I don't know. I have no idea.
You're not biased.
I am biased. I'm sure I have biases. I just can't think of one. I have no idea.
Okay, Gen Z lingo is.
Something I don't understand.
And Germans are
friendly, warm, and kind people.
And Himat is
where your heart is. It's not a location, but it's a feeling.
And migrant, what it means to me?
Everyone's a migrant. Hardly anyone lives where they were originally born, and so everyone's a wanderer. Everybody's a migrant, and so.
My favorite movie.
Favorite movie? I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't have a favorite movie. Sorry. Nora Jones.
Oh, it was a culture shock for me.
I invited some people over for dinner, and after dinner, they offered to contribute for the dinner. They asked me if they should give me 10 or 20 euros. I was very confused by this whole thing because to me, inviting people over for a meal is a very special thing. And that was a bit of a culture shock, but yeah.
My favorite Bengali dish is?
Khichuri. It's a dish with rice and lentils.
One thing I would never forget about Bangladesh?
The book fairs. The book fairs are very, very special.
Every day? I would like to always wear?
Anything that's comfortable.
And what do you think about cultural symbols? Yeah.
I think they're special. I wish there was more of it in Germany. I went to Canada to visit my cousin, and there were more cultural clothing than I have seen in Germany. And so,
Germany or the US? Because you've been to both countries.
I would compare to Germany because I live in Germany, but in Canada, when I was there, I noticed that people had a lot of outward expression of their cultures or their countries that they came from, which I really, really liked. And I wish I saw more of that here in Germany.
I always have a nostalgia about?
Spending time with my close family, because my family is now scattered across the world, including my cousins and my family. And so my nostalgia place is being in one place with my best friends from high school and my cousins, and all in one place, and being able to see each other on a day-to-day basis, which doesn't happen anymore.
My current crush?
I don't have a current crush. I don't have a crush.
In Bonn, which restaurant or place would it be? A restaurant and a place to somebody who's coming or who's living here.
So my favorite cafe in Bonn is C'est La Vie. So it's gotten very popular now, and so there's a second place. But I love C'est La Vie. When I come to Bonn, I pick up stuff from C'est La Vie, and so yeah, if you want good baked goods, C'est La Vie is the best place to be.
Is there other place you would recommend that you love in Bonn?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend one of the pubs that you can sit in the Altstadt and just have a drink outside when the weather is really nice like today and the cherry blossoms are out. And yeah, just any old bar, just sitting outside and having a drink.
Okay, thank you, Shahrina.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Of course.
Bye.
Goodbye. It was nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.